You won't believe the amount of information you'll get with just simple open-ended questions.
This video is brought to you by Flipster, the software that gives you instant access to every motivated seller lead in the country, including MLS leads, absentee owners, pre-foreclosures, vacant houses, Craigslist leads, and REOs. Check it out now at getflipster.com.
Michael, thanks for taking time to sit and meet with me and talk about your journey. I am really excited to talk to you because I've gotten to know you a little bit. You came through my coaching program. In fact, we spent an entire day together in Puerto Rico.
Yep.
You came out for 3 days. 2 days was part of the event and training. And then you spent an entire day, just you, me, my wife. And it was awesome because we really got to hone in on your business, your goals. And then since then, how long ago was that? Month? 2 months?
I'd say about 2 months now.
2 months now, yeah, 2 months ago. And you've just like shot out of the gate. It's so exciting to see your success and your progress and all that you're doing. So we're going to talk about that. But let's go back to that day when you came to Puerto Rico, spent some time. You reached out to me recently and said, man, that was just life-changing. What happened there? Because I know we talked a lot about business and you know, setting goals and what you want to accomplish, but we talked a lot about mindset. And so let's start there. What happened with you during that experience and since then till now?
Yeah, awesome. And thanks so much for having me. It's like you mentioned, it's been an insane experience ever since we spent that day together. Yeah. And you know, to keep it really simple, I kind of just went through your traditional new investor brain as far as you know, analysis paralysis, not taking action or not taking the right action, and filling my day up with things.
Busy work.
Busy work, exactly. I would find enough busy work to do to where it just started hitting me that I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
In real life.
This was before we met and you came to Puerto Rico.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, it went a little something like this. I would watch your videos for a week straight and I'd be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I would go on Redfin. I would find an active listing. I would comp it out, do all the things, get my MAO. And when it came time to making the phone call to the agent, oh man, there's something else I could be doing right now. I gotta go do the dishes or something like that. You know, I
remember talking to you about that because you came from sales.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were afraid of sales.
What it really came down to was I was so scared that there would be a question that somebody would ask me and I just wouldn't have the answer. You know, and I kind of carried that for a while until I came to Puerto Rico. You and your wife and I just had a really good conversation about where I'm at in my business and where am I struggling. And you kind of said something to me that I didn't really expect. And I was like, hey, maybe you're a better entrepreneur than you are an entrepreneur. And I just really took that home with me. How can I turn that into business?
Talk about that. What does that mean?
What that really means is maybe I wasn't comfortable with having this big business, this corporation managing people and having liabilities, or a higher amount of liabilities. Maybe I was just better off working with somebody that has been established in the industry for a very long time, and they know people that can get me to where I'm going. I call it tying a smaller boat to a bigger boat and sailing off. And that's exactly what I did. It's crazy because on the way back from Puerto Rico back to here in Phoenix, Arizona, I had an opportunity with the Flip Lab, Ricky Morgan. And he said, hey, come on in, you know, we'll teach you how to actually take action and close the right way and do everything that you need to do. And that's exactly what I did. And go figure, I think day 2, I locked up my first deal.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, my biggest goal has been, how can I supplement my income that I was receiving from my corporate job that I had recently left? And, you know, whether you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, there are ways to make good money and supplement that income. And, you know, I found a way to do just that. And
yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, so let's talk about this for a minute. So, you know, the entrepreneur is the visionary, you know, he takes the risk. kind of all the pressure of everything kind of falls on him or her. And there's something to be said for that. There's people that really resonate with that, and it's a good fit. An intrapreneur is someone that's within an organization, but they have the leeway to kind of do their own thing, but they're still within that umbrella of the entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Right? So like in my business, in my training business, I have someone that runs the entire company. And he is the ultimate intrapreneur because I come up with all the ideas. I'm kind of the face, the brand, take on all the risk. But then he's given this free reign to then to run the company and manage the business under that umbrella. And I give him lots of leeway. So he feels like he's got a lot of ownership. And in essence, he does, because he gets to make a lot of decisions, right? And so it's a really amazing fit to do that. So some people really are a good integrator, right? And they are amazing at that role. And yeah, we spend a lot of time just trying to figure out, okay, where really do you fit best?
Yeah, so kind of the big things I would be worried about is I'm over here worrying about EMD and all these questions they're going to ask, and how do I open up escrow and do all the crazy stuff that you really, you need to know, have an idea of how it goes, but you don't really need to know. You're not going to know any of that stuff until it happens to you.
Yeah.
I'm over here worrying about EMD. First 5 deals, nobody brought up EMD at all, And Ricky gave me an opportunity. He said, hey, if I take all those things that you're worried about out of the equation, will you just get on the phone and make some phone calls?
Yeah.
And will you make a lot of them? I said, absolutely. That's all I want to be focused on. It's just one thing at a time. And that's kind of led me to where I'm at right now. Been with the Flip Lab for 45 days now, and I've done about 10 deals.
Amazing.
Over half of them have closed so far. And we're just a small 3-man team. In total, we've done about 25 deals in 45 days. All wholesale here in Arizona.
Okay.
Actually, I take that back. So we have 2 markets here in Arizona. We're doing wholesale. And then in New Jersey, we're actually taking those down. We're flipping them or burning them.
Gotcha.
So Ricky is from New Jersey, and we have boots on ground and all the resources there to be able to do that.
And you're primarily doing then acquisitions?
Yep, that's all I'm doing.
Great. And then you get paid a commission and life's great.
Exactly. Yep.
And you come from sales, so pounding the phones is like second nature to you.
Exactly. Yep.
So really you found your genius, because that part you can do really well, and you're great on the phone. You resonate well with people. You're so good at building rapport. Some of those things. So now it's just really honing in your script and getting down and then you're off to the races.
Exactly. It's a numbers game. What do you say? The more phone calls I make, the more offers I make, the more deals I'll get, and the more money I make. I carry that with me everywhere I go, and it's so true. I mean, you just got to get out there and make the calls.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too, because it's been like 60 days or whatever since I spent time with you, and just talking to you on the phone a little bit last couple days, and now, I mean, Michael, I've seen your confidence. It's just like coming out like. You can feel your energy that you have because you've seen success. And it's amazing how those wins can start to stack. And I see you stacking your wins. And that's exciting because it's just going to keep building and building and building. And the more you can create those wins, then the losses seem smaller and smaller and less significant.
Exactly.
And then you can go into some bigger wins, right?
Exactly. And who knows what will happen? I just know that if I stay focused on acquisitions, I lay the groundwork. And, I think one thing for me that has really been the most prevalent in my business is the ability to network. I am lucky in the sense that I'm here in Phoenix, where it's more or less the real estate hub.
Yeah, flipping capital USA.
Exactly. You go to one real estate meetup and you're plugged in with 10 very high level people right off the rip. But then again, it's also up to me to show up to those events. If I didn't show up to this first random real estate event that was down the road that I saw on Facebook, I don't even know if I'd be sitting here right now.
Yeah.
So you just got to
go up and talk to people and tell them who you are, what you do, what you're looking for.
Exactly.
How you can help them.
First person I met, Zach Keeps. He's a flipper out here in Arizona, and there was something about his energy. I was like, I got to go talk to that guy. So I went up to him and I introduced myself. I was like, hey man, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done a deal, and this is my first meetup, point blank period. But all I know is I'm supposed to come up and say hi and just start a conversation, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, now I want to talk about one more thing that I think is really important. I talk a lot about on market. And I get a lot of pushback, not a lot of pushback, because there's a lot of people that take it to heart and do it.
Yeah.
You've just blown this up, and you've really excelled with it. What do you think it is about agents that you're able to resonate well with? Like, why is it working for you? Because it is competitive, right?
It is competitive.
Do you just not believe it and you just do it?
Yeah, it's competitive from a macro perspective. If you just look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's 40 people calling this really good deal, I'm never going to get the deal.
Yeah.
It's not true. It's so far from the truth that if you just take everything that you teach and actually put it into action and use a double, you wouldn't believe there's so many people out there not using the double dip technique.
Yeah.
Or they're licensed.
Double dip is where you go directly to the listing agent, let them represent you on the offer, right? So they get both sides of the commission.
Exactly.
They're very motivated, or some agents are extremely motivated. They're going to go to work to get you that deal.
Exactly, especially if they're newer agents. You have to understand that in this market, it's hard for agents to get listings right now. As soon as they get that listing, if they're a hustler and they're on the phone with me, odds are we're probably going to be able to work together very well.
And they're going to make double the commission.
Exactly.
Huge.
Exactly. Yeah. We're super easy to work with. We close quick, and you just present yourself as somebody that just gets it done. They're going to want to work with you. Yeah.
Because think about it. Here's what I tell agents all the time, and you're probably telling them this too, is, man, if you got to deal with all these buyer's agents and their buyers and their inspections and appraisals and contingencies and issues and, that's a lot of work.
It is.
Or I'll just give you my number. It's cash. We'll close quick. I'll make it easy for you. I'll come through. You can call me on your future deals. I'll be a repeat customer.
Exactly.
The right agent's going to be all over that.
Exactly. But that last part you mentioned is probably the most important thing, right? So a lot of people might teach cold calling agents and just saying, hey, my name is Mike. I'm an investor. What do you got? It's a lot easier to get an agent's attention if you're actually going to them with the subject property in mind first, and understanding that the relationship is more important than the asset every single time. And I tell them that specifically. It's like, hey, no big deal, man. If we don't get this one, just promise me we're going to get a deal by the end of the year. We'll take you out to dinner and get you coffee and just really build that relationship. And they're like, I'll remember that guy. And before you know it, 3 days later, they're, hey, Mike, I got another property. You want to take a look at this one? I haven't even posted it yet.
Well, it's funny. We did that when you were with me on the phone. Remember, we were calling agents in my office in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, so, are you working with any other investors? And I think she was like, you know what? I don't really have anybody in Oakland, Macomb. We were calling in Detroit.
Yep.
And we're like, okay, we're your guy, And she's like, okay, I'm going to save your number. And when I get something distressed, I'll call you. It's like, that's gold right there.
Exactly.
Like, that's more important than whatever deal we were calling about.
Yeah. There's actually so many deals out there. They're right under your nose. So just, if you're a new investor out there, take it from me, the guy that had the worst analysis paralysis of all time. Literally the worst. It's very possible, and you literally just gotta, if you see something, you call them up and just ask them what's going on. You won't believe the amount of information you'll get with just simple open-ended questions. And before you know it, they're wanting to work with you.
And I would say too, like, your advice and what you did is great advice for somebody listening. Maybe reach out to the top flippers in your market, top wholesalers in your market, and see if they'll bring you on and train you and let you come in. My son wanted to get into real estate, and I had him go work for some wholesalers, Nathan Payne, and they put him in at like scheduling calls, and then they moved him up and put him in different parts of their business, and he's getting this well-rounded, education on wholesaling and doing acquisitions, and it's just been awesome for him to have that experience, not under dad, right? But to go learn and build confidence and see success and learn the business. What a great way to do that.
I love it. And it makes it fun and not scary at this point. So
I think you've got a great environment too. Like, great team environment.
That's the thing. We're a small team of 3, and we all come from sales backgrounds. We left our corporate jobs, and when they brought me in, I think I knew pretty much immediately that not only were these going to be the guys that I'm working with, but I can pretty safely call them my best friends.
Yeah, good dudes too. Good community, good environment.
And it seems like every other day I'm getting put in front of just very high level people, and I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if I didn't take this, I wouldn't be in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Being able to just shake their hand, introduce myself, and just be a sponge.
Yeah.
But it's
and
like
people are taking you serious because you're telling them, hey, I closed 10 deals. Like when you start to be able to say, now you're having some high level conversations too.
Exactly too, and for so if you're a new investor out there and you're just kind of wondering how to get started, take everything that Jerry teaches you, put it into action, and it's like, hey, if you get a deal locked up, the way that I could provide value to you in any market or here in Phoenix, we can just help you get that deal across the finish line.
Yeah.
And I highly advise the JV and really network with those who have been doing this for a while.
Yeah, and it was really fun. You and I've been texting. I got a deal I sent your way. You took a look at it, gave me some feedback on it. And that's fun. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Like, it's really cool to be able to be like, I'm going to call Michael on this deal and see where he's at with it. So guys, I love this. This is really great advice. I hope you've taken this to heart. Of anything, Michael, I think the amazing thing is, real estate is probably 90% between your ears, the real estate between your ears, right? And we think it's the real estate out there.
Yep.
And I love that you took away from our time together and really thought through, how do I transition mentally into this place I need to be?
Yep.
And it's not about the earnest money, right? It's not about how you fill out the contract. All of that is secondary. What's primary is taking that action, getting your mindset to a place where you're willing to do those things like pick up the phone. And like I love to say, the more offers you make, the more deals you get, the more money you're going to make.
Yep.
And so if you back into it that way, you're going to get there.
Truly. It's been a great experience, and again, now it's just fun. I'm going after some other guys in the office, try to buy more houses than them. Yeah, literally. Just, hey, I'm going to buy more houses than you this month. No, you're not. So yeah, it's been awesome.
That's fun. Awesome. Well, Michael, thank you guys. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.